College life, y'all. Y'all know how many times I tried to roll this bag up. It's been about 4 times and it still ain't correct, but you know. Anyways, y'all, hi. I'm Kayla Marie Denise Jones. I just told y'all my whole name. Wow. Y'all want my social security number too? But I'm Kayla Jones, and just leave it as that. And I am a Tuskegee University student. I am an animal science major. I am a transfer student, 22 years old, from Chabot Community College in California. 3 degrees I'm working on. And I want to be a veterinarian. My transfer GPA was an over 3.0, and I'll get to you about this other transformation that I had over the year, and some things that were done, some things that were good, some things that weren't. And yeah, so hi y'all. Hi. So I wanted to help y'all because I know school's coming right around, the corner. And as I mentioned in the first video I made, the Tuskegee Experience Year 1, I wanted to talk about some papers y'all might need to get down there. And maybe some things that you don't know. So this is a year ago for me that I had or was accepted or admitted to Tuskegee University. But it might be a little bit of a rush when you get there, but there will be help. So before I was calling Tuskegee University, and I was calling the person that is over animal science, and that is Dr. Bowden Tiller. You might do it with yours. They said, well, we really don't have any money, Kayla, for people that haven't been admitted into school. She was basically saying, like, you got to put more faith into it. And she was very sweet sounding also. And I was like, okay, so I got to find some money. So I leave that on faith, y'all. And I went all the way down to Alabama. I'm from California, but I came and visited my grandparents here. And I went all the way down to California, and I basically just took out some money and ran down there with my brother and my dad and my grandma. And faith was like my currency. It sure was. Thank you, Jesus. Yes. So I went down there and basically found some scholarships. Now, I'm going to help y'all, or at least let y'all know what I had with me. Y'all probably have something better. If y'all do, comment below, whichever. So the papers that I had, or papers, because I'm an independent student, I keep my own things, most of my own things. I pay my own taxes and things like that. So I keep my own things. But your parents might bring them with them, take them back, whichever. So there's some papers that you might need, some basics like social security card, birth certificate, not so much, but you might want to bring it. Your license, of course. You'll also need some transcripts. Unofficial is fine because it helped me get a scholarship still. But official is always best. Official is always best. I also brought some recommendation letters. And I found that to be very helpful. Even if they didn't ask for them, they was like, well, I'll see if this account is exhausted that we can pull money and give to you for your admittance. And I would just be like, oh, here goes a recommendation letter, another recommendation letter, another. She was like, you probably need some recommendation letters. And I was like, bam, 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 bam. Because I had a couple of them. And if y'all need some ideas because y'all still trying to get in, or y'all still like, hey, I wish I could still get that recommendation letter from that person, I knew a couple of people, some people that were in my family because they went to Tuskegee or live around Tuskegee, and also some people that my family had grew up around, or I grew up around, or I knew personally. So some ideas that I gotten, I could start in my community college. I had, well, first of all, I was very involved in my community college, and I'm also trying to be in Tuskegee because I feel that's my calling in Tuskegee, is to be involved. I'll get to that later. So I was in 9 campus clubs, and I was in 4 committees. I was senator, and I had 3 jobs, so I was very involved everywhere. So I had, from those, I had an African American literature teacher. He was Caucasian, but he wrote me a recommendation letter. And I also had an African American counselor wrote me a letter. I also had the Alpha Gamma Sigma Honor Society counselor write me a letter. I also had some other teachers put in. I think I had a history teacher put in, because Tuskegee University is big on history, so I had somebody write that one. I also had from working, I worked as a vet tech, so I had a doctor write me one. I had a doctor write me a recommendation letter, and I think that was, whatever major you're in, you got to have some recommendations from there, or at least somebody that says, oh, well, you know, I've known them for so long, da, da, da. And you can look on Yahoo, Google, and you can see, okay, so these people right here need to know me for this long at least. A year is pretty good. 2 years is okay. You fancy, huh? So you need that, a recommendation letter. And I worked there for like a year and a half. That's vet tech altogether. Basically a vet tech or vet assistant, because I took some classes in high school as a vet assistant. Total, it was at least a good 3.5 years. And I also had somebody from real estate, because I told them I wanted to own my own couple of clinics later on down the road within 15 years. And they wrote me one, and it's always good to help, you know, Black families, your family, and learn how to buy some residential but commercial also buildings and know what you're looking for. So I'm getting, you know, a certification in that and a license as well. I had gotten some letters from a mayor that my cousin, my second cousin, he used to be a mayor. So he had gotten me a recommendation letter, and I remember meeting him this once, and it was just the first impression. He said, hey, so he said, da da da, how's life going? And he said, so are you going to school? What's going on? And I was like, I'm going to school and I'm going to college. And he was like, oh well, yeah. And I was like, 4th grade. And I was like, I'm going to college. And he was like, that's good. You're really looking forward to going to college. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to do good. I'm going to keep up my grades. And he was like, and that first impression stuck with him. And he knew who I was. His sister wrote me a recommendation letter. And I also had some people that worked at Tuskegee, really one. And she was my cousin, and she helped me out. She didn't write a recommendation letter, but she just put my name in there like, oh, check out Kayla Jones. And they were like, oh, okay, I'll check her out. And they were like, I talked to your cousin today. It sounded really good. And I was like, oh, yes. I had a random recommendation letter from a neighbor, and it was my grandmother's friend that worked here, and she was like, oh, you know, Kayla really is sweet. I want to write one. I was like, I guess that could help, you know. I also had a recommendation letter from a lawyer. So those are just, I said all of that just so y'all can get an idea. Like, y'all could think big. I knew a judge. Her name was Honor of Teresa Scott. And I was trying to get in touch with her, but she didn't get to give me one. Your pastor can give you one. My pastor gave me one. Like, I was really working. I was like, oh, I was really working really fast. So, you know, don't be afraid of, you know, getting that. Bring those with you. If you can get copies, because I asked them before I got to Tuskegee, can y'all give me a copy of it? Send it to me through email, whichever. Send it to me, or pick it up from their office. Do that. And bring it with you. At least like 5 good important ones. Because when I went down there for scholarships, it was like, you need 3 recommendation letters to get this scholarship. Bam. You'll need 5 recommendations. Bam. Like, I didn't ask for that. But I had it. And when she didn't ask for it, I had already given her 2 of them. And she was like, yeah, so you'll just need 1 more. And I was like, oh, got it. Or either get it off your email, print it off again. You know, have it someplace where it's safe. You'll also need your health records, meaning you'll need things such as, let's see, I know I needed a physical, and I was 22, and I was like, I need a physical. I was like, okay, I ain't done this since I played basketball in high school, but I was like, okay, whichever tell you, okay. And you'll also need like your shots, your records from like 1st, 2nd grade, from where you were residence in, or from your high school. Your high school usually has them. Call them. It took me 2 weeks to get a hold of mine, because they were sitting there on vacation during summer, which is fine, I understand, but it just didn't help. I was like, wow, I didn't think about that. So yeah, make sure y'all get those. And I think I need to turn something else in, but they still let me get insurance of Tuskegee and a 10, and they was like, y'all need to get this. If you don't get this, you're not getting it. And I was like, I got them in peace. So yeah, let's see, any other papers? I always keep my W-2s and 1090s. If you don't know what they are, you probably shouldn't worry about it. It has to do with taxes. If you do, then try and bring them with you. You should know, if you're independent, like really independent, you'll probably know what papers you want to bring. I also try and bring other things that keep my mind updated, like some quizzes or something. I know that's kind of weird, but I'm not going to act like I'm not different. I am different. So, with that being said, yeah. Y'all can also keep in mind that they take pictures during laser week. So I'm getting ready to talk about laser week. Just make and choose a day that, if you know what day they're taking pictures, try and take them that day. Unless you're fine with, oh, my hair isn't done or something, because my hair wasn't done and I was upset and I was like, shoot, it's gonna go in the yearbook. But I mean, you'll be fine. You'll be fine if it's decent or something, just like do something to it in line, because there will be a long line. And they had it shut down after the day I took mine, and nobody can get in the cafeteria because they didn't have their ID, and they had to figure it out because the cafeteria just opened. So it was like, oh shoot, we gotta sit here and resolve this problem. So people really had to wait like 2-3 days to get in the cafeteria until it was resolved. So yeah, try and get those done as much as possible. And don't forget a sticker, because they wouldn't let me in the cafeteria with a sticker my second semester. I couldn't get in there for like 5 days because I didn't have a sticker. And I was like, oh, y'all serious? I was like, y'all can't look up my name and find out? No. Can I bring some from the bursar's office? No. Okay. No. No. Yes. So laser week is pretty fun. Try and get out. Like, if your mom is there, your dad is there, they could stay at the Tuskegee Hotel. And Tuskegee is the only HBCU with the hotel on campus. So, take advantage of it. The hotel rooms are pretty nice. They're pretty nice. I've been in there. My friends have stayed in there. They don't let students get hotel rooms because they're afraid they're going to trash them, like college life. Duh. And they will only let you in there if there's like a heating problem, a cooling problem, lights are out. I remember during winter when it snowed within I don't know how many years, and they freaked out because the lights went out, and so they didn't have any heat, like on 2 floors in Adams, and they had to go to Tuskegee Hotel. And then it's like 1 week, okay, sorry, you have to stay another week. And then they're like, y'all gotta get out. So yeah, just let you know, they have a pool, they have a gym. Usually most parents stay like first half of the week, and the second half they're like, oh, you're making friends, bye now, you don't need me anymore. I'm gonna cry if I see you, yeah, and all that other good mushy stuff. So yes, laser week's pretty good. My advice is get out there, and also get to know your financial aid counselor. If your parents are there, take advantage of it, because I got to know my financial aid counselor, even though they were let go, and I'm very highly upset that they were let go. Get to know your financial aid counselor, and every time I went in there, I almost came out with a scholarship. Like, every time. I was like, oh, $1,200, oh, $3,000, oh, $1,500. Like, it was very, very helpful. So make sure she knows your family, because she would know, how's grandma? Oh, how's your brother? Like, I had my whole family in there, and they might have been a little weird, but I wasn't embarrassed. I was like, I need a scholarship. So yes, work during laser week to get a scholarship if need be, if you want to, if you can. Let me also say, hurry up and see if you can get a full ride also, because if you have an over 3.0 in the last year or so, whichever, get a full ride. And they also said, FYI, they also said, usually if you don't get 3.0 your first semester and second semester, to get the full ride the next year, you're usually not going to get it. After your second year, you're usually not going to get it. They're like, it doesn't happen. It's very rare. And out of your class, it's probably The most would be 150 students, and the class is pretty big. It's like 600 students, and you only have a good third of them that keep their grades up over 3.0s. So, yeah. Besides that, let me go ahead, figure out. Oh, back to Laser Week, because that was a side note. Try and get out as much as possible, though. They have some gifts. They also have a test you have to take. So take the test, because some people didn't take it, and then you got to take it at some weird time during your class time, maybe, or it's not going to work out so all the time. So, yeah. You'll need your Tuskegee ID if you're trying to do work study, and you have to like call, see if you can get a work study job if you can balance that. But that's really hard your first year. That was really hard because I had a 2.6 and I was like, dang. I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work for me. So balance it. I was in a lot of stuff my first year at Tuskegee, as you can tell from my past. But balance it and be smart. Don't be afraid to talk to your parents about balancing. They can help you out some way, some wisdom. Don't be afraid to take it. It's going to be disciplined throughout your whole life. And the first year in Tuskegee, they say is going to set you for like the rest of your career at Tuskegee or the rest of your educational experience at Tuskegee. So try and do the best you can and, do it wholeheartedly. So with that being said, Laser Week, I mean, I could tell you what is needed for your dorms, I guess. So if you get in there, you move in there. Big, big, big roach problem. I don't know why. Okay, so I'm from California. I'm not used to roaches, but Tuskegee's roaches are like that big. Oh, you think I'm joking? No, no, no. Look, girl. Oh my gosh. You have no idea. These roaches are huge. And I've never seen roaches like that, and they fly. You don't see them like flying around, but they like, ew. Like, dang, that's somebody. Oh my gosh. So bring some Raid, or I use some generic stuff too, like I think it's called, oh goodness, I can't remember what it's called, but it's something. So yes, you need some bleach. You'll need, or some ammonia. You need to use it on the showers because the showers are really bad. They're really, really, really bad. And I'm gonna get real just a little bit, so some dorm stories pretty soon. You'll need that. You need a broom. You don't really need a mop, but a broom is nice to have because you will have some people that come in and check your dorms, like dorm checks or dorm room checks. That's what they call it. Your RAs and your dorm director will come in and check your room. So you need a broom. Or you can use somebody that you need to know somebody with a broom. Or you can use a dorm director's broom. It don't make a difference, whichever. Something with hangers to organize to make your closet space a lot more usable. It's small. I mean, it's a regular size closet space for hanging up clothes. And you have some drawers. You don't have too much space. Something with your bed, you might have some drawers or either something that lifts up and then you can put it down. That's kind of harsh, but I mean, I put my suitcases in there, so I wasn't feeling too bad. You'll also need some containers, put your pens and your pencils in. You'll also need, and I'll try and find the list that I had, and I'll put it up on here because I'm trying to help y'all as much as possible for whomever that watches this. So you'll need that. The first 2 weeks of school, they have you go to a freshman ball. You'll want a nice little cute club dress. You thought I was gonna say like Cinderella? No, girl. This is not Cinderella. Because I had something on that wasn't Cinderella, but it was long. And everybody else had club dresses on. And they told me, but I was like, I'm 22. Would I look like clubbing in a club dress with other, younger kids? I was like, and I still love them. It don't make a difference. I mean, I'm friends with a lot of 18, 19-year-olds, but, yeah. Excuse me. Sneeze. So, yep. Gentlemen, bring some suits or at least some polos or button downs. They do have their little prep TU thing, preppy thing. I see more preps usually than jocks, or business looking people, men than jocks. So that's just a heads up. Let me also see. But Laser Week is meant to be fun, so make the best of it. Go to all that you can if you're not tired. Also, let's see, what else? Okay, so that's all I can think of the first week. Get some scholarships. Email your teachers if you want to before you get there. Email them after your semester, like a couple of days after your semester, so you can get good grades. Keep them up. Let me also see. So I have my notebook here this time. Let's go with dorm stories. Yes. Okay, so besides what's in the dorms, y'all probably already know. Y'all been looked up lists. Y'all have a good, idea, and I'll put up a list somehow, some way. Or either maybe my next video read off the list, whichever. But you'll need a lot of cleaning supplies. Like, try and make sure you get some cleaning supplies, trash can, things like that, because I hate when I go to my friend's dorm and it's dirty and I be like, oh, ooh. Oh my god. I'm not sitting on your bed. Like, you don't want to be one of those people, and that's rare for me to have my dorm room dirty. The only time it was messy or cluttered was when I was during finals. I was like, oh my gosh, because you're like, I'm thinking at the same time I have finals and I have to pack during finals almost, like, because people don't have finals till almost Monday or Tuesday last week when they're supposed to be packing. So it's like, oh gosh, I have finals and I have to get ready to pack and get out of here. But that was like really the only time that it was messy. Okay, so dorm room stories includes parties. They have the parties bananas. Bananas is crazy. Everybody loves bananas. I went to bananas. I don't go to parties that often, but I went and it wasn't that bad. And let me tell you the clubs that they're going to have it in. They have a club called The Soul, which is in Tuskegee University, like, vicinity. It's small. It's very small. It's small. That's all I can say. It's very, very hot. Very, very small. I think I bought a bottle of water. I didn't want no alcohol while it was that hot. Don't alcohol make you hotter? How you gonna sell alcohol and then how you gonna buy alcohol? It's 90, 95 degrees in there. It's just like any other party. So people are like looking around trying to look cool. Dudes trying to look cool, and they're like, ooh, yeah, she look, ooh, oh, and girls are like, oh, let me, So yeah, so if you wear anything, make sure that it's not long or tight, or I don't know, make sure you come correct. That's all I can say. The Club Extreme is actually pretty nice. It's not that bad. I've never been to a party in there, but I have been in there just to get a drink. I'm over 21 though. I'm over 21, and I'll let you know why I say 21, because those that I have babysat, and I mean babysat, or those that I have had to clean up after, wasn't 21, and I was like, have you ever drank before? No, it's the first time I've ever drunk. I'm like, you didn't tell us that? And my friend might kill me, but she don't know it's her. Like, only a couple people know it's her. So we went out, and I think it was for bananas. No, it was a frat party in Auburn, which is 20 minutes away. And long story short, she threw up about 3 times that night. She lost her glasses outside the window. We were driving, we were paying attention, and she put her head out to cool off, and her glasses flew off. Glasses flew off. I was like, oh, there goes her glasses, and everybody was like, no, wait, let me look, oh, no, and people were like laughing and things, but it was like, there goes her glasses, and I was just about to like, don't put your head out the window, but I was like, nah, she ain't gonna put her head out the window, not with glasses on at least, nah, she put her head out the window, y'all. So yeah, you got that going on. She was under 21 as usual. Another girl, I think she had just turned 21 or something. It was during homecoming. She threw up in front of my dorm. Somebody was knocking on my dorm. They was like, "Oh, excuse me, do you have a towel? I need to clean this up." And I was like, "No, I don't have a towel." She was like, "You don't have any towels?" And I was like, "Not for that." And she was like, "Oh, well, excuse me." And I was like, I don't know this girl. I've never seen her in my whole entire life. I haven't seen her around campus. I haven't seen her in the dorm area where I live. I was like, I've never seen her before. And yeah, she was crawling through her throw up in front of my door. It was seeping underneath my doorway. I just woke up for prayer. My friends was like, because sometimes I temper, so they was like, she's about to go off. Oh my gosh, kid's about to go off. And I was like, oh no. I was like, you know what, this is what prayer for. I'm about to go to prayer. So, you know, I try to go to prayer. But yeah. I just called the people that clean up stuff, and I was like, y'all gotta come clean this up, because Kayla Jones ain't about to come clean this up. I'm not cleaning this up. It's not mine. It's not even my roommate. I don't even know who the girl is. I didn't even know she lived on my floor. Which usually you know almost everybody that lives on your floor. At least you see them in the bathroom or you see them going to the door. Anyways, I was highly upset. And the girl was like sad. But I was like, she didn't come and say, knock my door, say sorry. She didn't put a note underneath my door. My roommate wasn't there for like 2-3 days. So I was like, dang, for real? Like, you just gonna leave? And like, she didn't say nothing. I waited almost a whole entire week. She didn't say nothing. And every time I see her, I just be smiling, like going to, and then all of a sudden she come and I was like I don't want to. Oh, she felt it every time I saw her. Like, yeah, girl, you right. Like, just automatically. And it was subconsciously. The first, like, 2 times it was subconscious. I seen that girl, like, 8 times. It was almost every time I saw her. It was just like, like, I didn't like her. And I remember I overheard her saying to her friend, and they was like, what the F? You threw him in front of somebody's dorm? That's hella nasty. Da, da, da. And I was like, I thought it was. I'm a very helpful person. I'll help you and whatnot, but it was such a surprise. Didn't know her. She threw up in front of my dorm, and she wanted me to clean it up. She didn't have a roommate to help her, and I was just like, I just woke up for prayer. I took a sleep, woke up at 10, and I'm like, just like a minute and a half, and they knocking on my door talking about somebody threw up in front of my door. Dorm stories, people get high, you'll smell smoke and everything. I talk about dorms in the first video also, so you might want to check that out. It's more extensive too. But yeah, you'll smell smoke. It's like a Motel 6. It smells like a Motel 6 hallway. Like, it's bad, y'all. People getting high and they were screaming in the middle of the night on their back, like, just and their roommate just like scoot them in the door and just like leave them and walk out. There was another one from like 3 years ago. It was like my friend's freshman year. He said she was drinking and she was pooping on herself. And I didn't believe the story, but I've heard 5 people tell it. And I was like, well, dang, maybe it's true. But who drinks that much that they poop on themselves? Me, no. Kayla don't play that. Like, very, very little, very, very little. Yeah, I don't really play that. If I'm drinking, yeah, you won't see me throw up, nothing like that. And if I throw up, you definitely won't know about it. I definitely ain't gonna say nothing. Ain't nobody gonna know I threw up. I would brush my teeth and then keep going. Mouthwash and then keep going. I'm not gonna be like, I threw up. No, I'm not about that life. So yeah. Okay, so this is running a little longer than I thought it would. Okay, so the clubs are small. They're really, really hot. There's not that many clubs in Tuskegee. Most of them are in Auburn. And sometimes they did. I don't know. Auburn don't like Tuskegee. That's just how it is. It's Alabama. Bama! So, yeah, that's... let me go ahead and talk about... Okay, let me talk about Tuskegee Spirit because where I'm getting at, I feel it. So Tuskegee Spirits is everywhere. Like, they wear their little TU shirts. They have them on sale. You can get them for like $8, $12. Um, they pretty big on me and TU Spirit so far. But you'll see some people be like, oh, I wish I went to Auburn, or I tried to go to Auburn, or they didn't give me a scholarship to go to Auburn, and I went in. I'd be like, well, you here now, too late, too bad. They didn't accept you. Why you accepting them? But anyways, that's TU Spirit. We're pretty good on like, long story short, one scale of 1 to 10 is like 8, 8.5. Like my first year, that's why I got like an 8, 8.5. That's pretty good. Okay, so let me talk about homecoming. Homecoming was like my favorite time because it's homecoming. Homecoming is just like, it's better. It's gonna be better than your high school. It's gonna be at least 2-3 times better than your high school. First of all, you're away from home. Like, it's gonna be better. Yeah, everybody's gonna dress up. Homecoming start on like Wednesday. Homecoming game will be Saturday, but homecoming for TU students starts like Tuesday night, Wednesday. They like Wednesday, like turn up, TU, turn up. So you gotta be ready for that, and it's not bad. My friends were smoking, and I don't think this is too bad to say, but my friends were smoking, and I was sitting there, and I got high off of contact, and I was so mad because I've never been high off of contact. Like, it was extreme, like, whoa, like, so if you don't smoke, because I don't smoke, I do not smoke. I don't like to smoke. Hookah ain't the thing either, so yeah, it's just, no, the smoke is not for me. Drinking is very rare. Usually it's fruity and it's not strong. So try and keep your morals over homecoming, because we be hearing about guys having like, I think we heard one guy had like 5 girls. Was it 5 girls? It was weird, and he's very popular, and I know him, but I'm not gonna say his name. I love him. And so that way it could be anybody, because there's a lot of dudes that do what this, and it was like 5 girls in 1 week, and he had a girlfriend, so it was like weird. It was like, oh, okay, that's how TU gentlemen do it. Okay, so I don't condone it, because like a lot of stuff can happen, especially with babies, STDs, and messiness. That's just enough for me. And especially if you're going to go to a graduate school nearby, or even a vet school, you know you're going to be there 7 to 8 years. Don't have this long ass rap sheet of dudes that you've been with. What if, I just think long term. Like, what if you get married and you've been like, that's not cool. That's not cool. So yeah, I'm about to wrap this video up. So yeah, homecoming, they have comedy shows, they have dances, and some people don't go to dances, so figure out what to go to and what not to go to, because people go to something. I went to one thing, but it was a lot of church people that went, and ended up being like all my church friends. And yeah, there was like 12 people at the dance. So make sure you figure out what's going to be going to and what's not even going to, because that day there might be a club that's having a party, or there might be a frat. And the parties aren't that bad. They're pretty cool. So, just make sure they're not expensive. If you look good, you get in for free, or at least a lot less. I remember going to a club and I got like half of off. Like, they was like, oh, it's 20. And they was like, but for you, 5. And I was like, thank you. I was like, thank you. And kept going, So just, look good, look decent. They probably want your number at the door too. So just like give them a wrong number. Give them a wrong number. Be sophisticated. Be classy. Be honest if you can be. Or just change the subject. If they're like, oh, let me get your number. Oh, you know what? I like your shoes. I don't know. Try something. So, yeah. I'm trying to sum it up because I got another video I'm supposed to be doing before school starts also, which I'm trying to do in like a couple weeks. Of course the game is like the best thing ever, but the concert was really big and really good. Over the weekend, like that Sunday, Bill Cosby came and he talked, and me and my cousin went and we chilled. She came from out of state to stay with me for homecoming, so I did it kind of big, but it was somewhat big. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, it was like it was cool. It was cool, but it could have been better. That's why I say it's cool. So yeah. Comedy shows, concerts. They have the freshman talent show in the beginning of the year. So, you know, if you have a talent, share it off. It's not like a popularity, competition really, because most of the people, they're popular, but they're not like, but they freshmen. So it's like, it's a weird popularity when you're a freshman because it's your first year. So yeah, don't let it go to your head either. Let me see what else. They have like a parade for the day of the home game, and before that, or the day of, excuse me, they have like the whole street, the Ave, which is basically a pretty good, at least 300 yards. I want to say 300 yards long, and they just have people selling things all up and down that street. So it's almost like a festival that they have, and then they have it on the front of Logan, and it's like basically filled up with vendors. So you're gonna want to spend some money. They have like big chicken legs, and then they have some leather purses, MK purses, and then they have some Jordan hats. Like that's how it ranges from like everywhere, everything. Yeah, that's all I could really think of. The concert they had, I know they had YG, but that was at a recent one. It wasn't at homecoming. And they also had YG, and they also have Augustina. They had him, and he was really good. He's like a fave now, just because that I mean I cared. I was like, he cool, but when I heard him, because I listen to gospel music too, and it's kind of been like my whole strong point in my life is like gospel, the good news. But I listened to him and I was like, okay, he cool, I guess he cool. And he went up there, and now he's one of my favorite singers. So them, the Amigos, and now we have a good SGA, and we have an events director or coordinator, and his name is Charles. And my cousin knew him. He's pretty cool. He's always clean and nice, and he's set off pretty good. So I'm hoping because of that, and he's like supposed to be representative of California, that he comes off cool. Like everything's gonna be cool this homecoming. Like I'm gonna want to do everything this homecoming. So I'm about to wrap it up. I didn't get to talk about everything I wanted to. I also want to say bring some resumes. I totally forgot to say that in the beginning of the thing, but bring some resumes. And yeah, that's basically about it. Yep. With your parents, keep in touch with them. Don't lose them. At least I know my mother, she's not with me no longer. Love you, mommy. But I have other parents, and I call them like every 3-4 days. I call them. My dad, I don't call. I may call him like every week and a half. And then my grandparents on both sides, I call like every 3-4 days. So like, I mean, I know that's personal, but I'm trying to give it to you as an example, so like, okay, so I know where I'm going. I know what to do. Try and balance it out, because you want healthy relationships. You want good health. You want a good education / career, and above all else, you want a good relationship with God. Like, that's the finale. Like, that's all you need, really, is God. He'll provide anything for you, anything, everything. I'm not gonna preach to y'all, but yeah. And on the way to Tuskegee, just some quick pointers. If you lose some relationships or some friendships, know that sometimes it's not always bad to grow out of those friendships or relationships. It's not bad at all. At all. Sometimes it's needed for both of you to grow, not just for one of you to grow. Or sometimes you just need a break. And the wedge could be just revelation or epiphany about how much you need each other or how you could be a better friend to each other. So don't try and talk about, the parent or the friend or the teacher or which not, like try to stay humble, be confident, not cocky, invest your time. And I always say it's the person smart because it's the way that they use their time. Like that's usually how I say it. Like, oh, it's about how you use your time. So use it wisely. Um, yeah, so this video was longer than the other one. I feel like I didn't talk about as much as I did in the other video. Ooh, I don't know if that's good. But I will try and put up some notes here, as you'll see below. And I'll also put some IG name, my Golly May, Facebook, of course, Kayla, no hyphen, Marie Jones, and I would give my email, so maybe I'll send out my email, my TU email, and I am fundraising director of the Pre-Vet Club, so y'all see me doing that also. So next video, just a heads up, I'll be talking about peer pressure, more in depth. I'll be talking about the Death Valley, which is it's just a brief, little talk. Dropping classes and teachers, and I'll be talking about tutoring, laundry, frats, and more in depth with parties. So yeah, okay. So I will talk to y'all later, and see ya.